Sam Raimi talks a little bit more about Spider-Man and the trilogy he directed, and this time he talks a little bit more about the idea of the multiverse, and specifically why exactly he hasn't done Spider-Man 4 and what it would take for him to do it. In recent interviews connected to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Sam Raimi has been very vocal about his bad time working on Spider-Man 3 and getting Spider-Man 4 off the ground. And he specifically talks about how it was nice to see the multiverse be able to give even him some sort of closure and to see the next step of his version of Spider-Man. But in an interview with the Rolling Stone magazine, he talks a little bit about a few of the things keeping him from returning to direct Spider-Man 4. And he says that there's a few things here that are really at the core of it. So first and foremost, it's the amount of time that's went by. Obviously, he's in a different place. Everybody is in a different place. But he says that once he saw Spider-Man No Way Home, that for him, it worked. That felt like a natural upgrade and an update to the character. And that is sort of the next chapter. But he also says that if you look at what they were going to do with his film, he wanted to take it back. So for him, Spider-Man 4, if it was ever to be done, it would have to be a personal story. There would have to be some sort of emotional arc. There'd have to be a conflict within the character. And there would have to be a worthy villain that fits into that piece of the story during that time in Peter's life. So again, what he's saying here to me personally looks like is he's saying you can't just toss in another fun romp in New York with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He's older. He's moved on since the last time we saw him. It's been like, 15 years, maybe 20 if they ever get to a Spider-Man 4 like that. He's got to have aged. He has to have grown. The villains, the world has to have moved on to who knows what. And what exactly would you do? How does the villain fit that story? And he says that this is one of those things that he's thought about ever since leaving Spider-Man 3. And he said if they can answer all those questions and come up with a good idea, he would love to do Spider-Man 4. But it has to meet all of his criteria. He doesn't just want to do it because, payday, I can do it. He wants to do it right and make sure that it's the film he wants to do. So again, it sounds like he's telling Sony, hey, unlike Spider-Man 3, which wasn't the film I wanted, if I was to come back for 4, you gotta let me do what I want and tell the story that I want to tell. And maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't, but it sounds like he already has a couple of good ideas. And honestly, if there was ever a time to do it, I think right now would be the time to get on Spider-Man 4 because nobody's getting any younger, and pretty soon, unfortunately, time will catch up with everybody.